यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद श्रील प्रभुपाद जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस विराजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। दैला श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय। श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर ललिता विशाखा देवी की जय। श्री श्री गौनिताय की जय। ताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All grace to the assembled devotees, all grace to the assembled devotees, all grace to the assembled devotees, all grace to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Narayana namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam deving saraswating vyasam tato jayamudirayet nashtaprayesa bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke भक्तिर भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter number 74, entitled The Deliverance of Shishupal, text number 26. Shrutva dvijeritam rajam Shrutva dvijeritam rajam Gyatva hardam sabhasadam Gyatva hardam sabhasadam Samarhayad rishikesham Samarhayad rishikesham Prita pranaya viśvaṁ Prita pranaya viśvaṁ Shrutva dvijeritam rajam Gyatva hardam sabhasadam Samarhayad rishikesham Prita pranaya viśvaṁ. Vaishnavis. Word for word translation. Shrutva, hearing. Dvijam, by the Brahmanas. Iritam, what was pronounced. Raja, the king. Yudhishthir. Gyatva, understanding. Hardam, the inner thoughts. Sabhasadam, of the members of the assembly. Samarhayat, fully worshipped. Rishikesham, Lord Krishna. Pritam, pleased. Pranayam, by love. Viśvaṁ, overwhelmed. Translation. The king was delighted to hear this pronouncement of the Brahmanas, from which he understood the mood of the entire assembly. Overwhelmed with love, he fully worshipped Lord Krishna, the master of the senses. We will read the next few verses as well. After bathing Lord Krishna's feet, Maharaj Yudhishthir joyfully sprinkled the water upon his own head and then upon the heads of his wife, brothers, other family members and ministers. That water purifies the whole world. As he honored the Lord with presentations of yellow silken garments and precious jeweled ornaments, the king's tear-filled eyes prevented him from looking directly at the Lord. When they saw Lord Krishna thus honored, nearly all joined their palms reverentially, exclaiming, "Obeisances to you, all victory to you," and then bowed down to him. Flowers rained down from above. The intolerant son of Dhamagosha became infuriated upon hearing the glorification of Lord Krishna's transcendental qualities. He stood up from his seat and angrily waving his arms, fearlessly spoke to the entire assembly the following harsh words against the Supreme Lord. Purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada writes, in that meeting, King Shishupal was also present. He was an avowed enemy of Krishna for many reasons, especially because of Krishna's having stolen Rukmini from the marriage ceremony. Therefore, he could not tolerate such honor to Krishna and glorification of his qualities. Instead of being happy to hear the glories of the Lord, he became very angry. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti mentions that the reason Shishupal did not object when Sahadev proposed Krishna for the Agra Puja is that Shishupal wanted to ruin King Yudhishthir's sacrifice. If Shishupal had argued earlier against Lord Krishna's receiving the first worship and another person had been selected, the sacrifice would have then proceeded normally. Therefore, Shishupal allowed Krishna to be selected, waited until the worship was over, and then spoke up, hoping in this way to demonstrate that the sacrifice was now spoiled. Thus, he would ruin the endeavor of Maharaj Yudhishthir. In this regard, the Acharya quotes the following Smriti reference: Apujya yatra pujyante pujyanam cha vitikramam. In the place where those who are not to be worshipped are worshipped, there is offense to those who are actually worshipable. There is also the following statement: Pratibadnati hi shreya pujya pujya vitikramam. Improperly understanding who is to be worshipped and who is not to be worshipped will impede one's progress in life. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakayam Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitangstam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacham Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I first seek the blessings of His Holiness Bhakti Priyat Bhagat Maharaj, who's been a mentor to me and he still is, and all the other Prabhupada disciples also present here, Panchagoda Prabhu and other senior Vaishnavas who are way more qualified and competent to sit here and give this class, but have given me the opportunity to do some service to all you Vaishnavas. We are hearing about the election of Lord Krishna as the person to be worshipped in the Rajasuya sacrifice. So after the killing of Jarasandha, Yudhishthir Maharaj, pleased with this news, he offered words of prayer to Lord Krishna and glorification. And then it was decided that the Rajasuya sacrifice will happen. And many great personalities, demigods, sages, great kings, they all came there. And as is customary in a Rajasuya sacrifice, there has to be a person to receive the first worship. That's known as the Agra Puja. And Srila Prabhupada writes that many people were putting forth some names, but there was no unanimous declaration that yes, this person has to be selected. And so as they were going back and forth, Sahadev spoke. And when Sahadev spoke, everyone was hearing. And Sahadev said he proposed Lord Krishna to receive the first worship. And he gave his reasons why Lord Krishna should receive the first worship. He said, Lord Krishna, he is full of all qualities. And so, therefore, he is the supreme. And he is known to protect his devotees. Not only that, everything is coming from him. This whole Rajasuya sacrifice, whatever paraphernalia is here, whatever process is here, the rituals that will be employed, everything, he is the source. He is the cause. And so, by worshipping him and by his mercy, even this Rajasuya sacrifice will be complete. Sahadev mentioned that it is only through the mercy of the Lord that we are able to do what we are doing. Any activity we undertake is only because the Lord has given his mercy, so that activity will become complete. And so he said, by worshipping Lord Krishna, by his mercy, this Rajasuya sacrifice will be complete. And not only that, if we worship Lord Krishna, everyone will be worshipped. Because everyone is part and parcel of Lord Krishna. So in this way, Sahadev, he proposed Lord Krishna to be worshipped. And as he put forth his arguments and reasons why Lord Krishna should be selected, all the others who are in that assembly, they unanimously agreed, right, that yes, Lord Krishna is the right person to receive the worship, save and except a few like Shishupal. But as we are reading here in today's purport, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions Shishupal kept quiet at this point. He wanted to spoil the sacrifice. And so he said, okay, now Lord Krishna's name has been selected. Let me wait until he is worshipped and then I will speak. That how everyone came into the words and reasons for Sahadev and agreed with him, but how it was foolish of them to do so. And so we'll see, he says, how is it that such great people who are sitting here in this assembly, all learned people, accepted the words of a mere boy, a foolish boy. So he was waiting his chance. And we read how Yudhishthir Maharaj, when everyone applauded Sahadev and said, excellent, excellent, Yudhishthir Maharaj understood that yes, everyone is in agreement, and then he goes and proceeds to worship Lord Krishna, take the water that has washed lotus feet of Lord Krishna onto his head and pass it on to everyone, and then in this way proceed. But before they could proceed, Shishupal raised an objection. He was very angry. Srila Prabhupada writes that Shishupal first was seated when everyone was applauding, excellent, excellent. They were all giving a standing ovation. And Shishupal didn't stand. He was sitting. But as the worship was going on and everyone was applauding in this way, he couldn't bear it anymore, and therefore we find here Shukdev Goswami is mentioning how he just angrily stood up and started waving his arms and then started speaking. So we find that here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is mentioning who is to be worshipped. That should be known. In that assembly, the Pandavas were present, they are devotees of the Lord. They know who is to be worshipped. Not only the Pandavas, great personalities like Bhishma, even the demigods that were present. We hear the demigods like Indra were also present there. They all know who is to be worshipped. Devotees know that simply by worshipping Lord Krishna, everything is complete. Krishna bhakti kaile sarva karma krita hoy. If one performs devotional service to Lord Krishna, then everything is complete. This devotees know, but those who are not devotees, they don't have this faith. We find that many times wrong people are worshipped. And we find that in the case of Vena, Maharaj Vena, he came in the line of Dhruva Maharaj, and he was a very powerful king. It was mentioned that when he was a young boy, he would be playing with other boys, and he was so cruel because of his heritage. His mother was the daughter of death personified, and his father was Maharaj Anga. But despite the father being such a great devotee, Maharaj Anga, still Vena had some bad qualities in him. He was very cruel. So when he would be playing with young boys, he would actually kill them in that play. That's how cruel he was. And so, being frustrated with the nature of his son, Maharaj Anga, he left the kingdom. And there was no king. And the Brahmanas, they were at a loss because there was so much rampant crime in the kingdom that they had to install Maharaj Vena as the king. And as soon as they did that, all crime stopped, because the rogues and thieves, they knew if we mess around, we're going to get in trouble. But then Maharaj Vena, he took another direction. And he started instructing the Brahmanas, you should worship me. Why? Because the king is the representative of the Lord. Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he gives a short, very brief description of his various vibhutis, his various opulences. So he says, Naranam cha naradipam. Amongst the men, I am the king. And so Maharaj Vena took this literally. And he was telling the Brahmanas, the king's body embodies all the demigods. It's like we know the body of the cow. Sarva Deva, all the demigods are present in the body of the cow. And so Maharaj Vena, he started saying, no, I am the king, so all demigods are present in me. Therefore you should worship me. And the Brahmanas, hearing this, because the Brahmanas were devotees, they knew who is to be worshipped. Right? And so they opposed Maharaj Vena. But he was insisting. He said all the yagyas, all the sacrifices should be directed towards my pleasure. I am the representative. Indeed, I am the Lord. So he got this mentality in him that I am the Lord, so therefore I should receive the worship. And so the Brahmanas, eventually, they decided, okay, we need to get Vena out. And they killed Vena simply by chanting mantras. So they knew who is to be worshipped. When an improper person is worshipped, then progress will be stifled. And so Vena, when he was saying that you worship me, he had actually stopped the progress of the kingdom. The citizens' progress in going forward in their spiritual lives, he had stopped it. Whereas we find that after that, when Vena was killed, there was no king still, because he was the only last one in that dynasty. And so the Brahmanas had to then churn his body and from the churning of the body, few personalities appeared. First was Nishada, they put him on one side, and then Prithu and Archi appeared. And so then Prithu Maharaj, being an ideal king, then instructed the citizens who is to be worshipped. And he instructed them on how they can worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead and achieve the results, the proper results of human life. So we find that devotees always attempt to guide the entire civilization on who is the worshipable person, who is the rightful person to be worshipped. There are many demigods and there are many worshippers of the demigods, but Lord Krishna himself says that those who worship the demigods, they worship me in an improper way. Yajantya vidipurvakam. The devotees, they know directly, yes, only Krishna. And so Lord Krishna showed this in his own pastimes, right here in Vrindavan. One day Lord Krishna and Balaram, they were finding that all the Brajvasis were very, very busy arranging for a great ceremony, great sacrifice. And so when they found, oh, these Brajvasis are busy doing something, Lord Krishna went to Nanda Maharaj, asked him, my dear father, please tell me what's going on. Why are all these arrangements being made? Sometimes we get that. People come to the temple, they find the temple very decorated. Is there a festival today? Is there something happening today? So Lord Krishna and Balaram, they started asking Nanda Maharaj, there's so much activity, there's so much preparation going on. Why is this going on and who is it for? Who is to be worshipped? Please tell us. And Nanda Maharaj kind of ignored Lord Krishna's request because you're a young boy, you won't understand, so just leave it. But Lord Krishna insisted. He said, no, you have to tell us. We are your family. You cannot have any secrets in the family. That was in Dwapar Yuga. In Kali Yuga, different situation. The people you have to keep secrets from are the family, correct? You may tell others, but if you tell the family, that's finished. But Lord Krishna here, he said, no, you have to tell. Please tell us. See, we will be part of the function anyway. You're not going to leave us behind at home. And then Lord Krishna said something very relevant. He said, if you tell us who this sacrifice is for and why we are doing it, then when we do it with that full knowledge, we will get the full result. Lord Krishna said, if any activity is performed without knowledge, then only a partial result is obtained. But if an activity is performed with full knowledge, then one gets the full result. So therefore, my dear father, please tell, what are you doing and why? And so Nanda Maharaj said, see, my dear son, we are men, we belong to the Vaishya community. For us, rainfall is very, very important. Without rain, we cannot do anything. The rain comes, produces the grains, and with those grains, then we are able to live, and we are able to feed our cows. Everything is dependent on the rainfall. And so, Lord Indra is in charge of the rainfall. We have to show our gratitude to him. Here the Vrajavasis were identifying Lord Indra to be worshipped. But Lord Krishna was present. So therefore, Lord Krishna, he wanted to show the Vrajavasis, no, who is to be worshipped? Who is the right person to be worshipped? And therefore, when Nanda Maharaj explained that it is because Lord Indra is in charge of the rainfall, we have to worship him, Lord Krishna said, no, that's not necessary. Why are we even bothered with Indra? As we know, Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Anant bhavati bhutani parjanya dana sambhava, yagyat bhavati parjanya yagyak karma samudbhava. So therefore Lord Krishna went into a whole discussion of karma mimamsa philosophy. And he said, Lord Indra has nothing to do with whether we worship him or not. He is supposed to provide the rainfall. Lord Krishna said, he is even pouring rain over the ocean. Who's living in the ocean? Nobody is there. But he is pouring rain over the ocean nonetheless. So therefore, we don't need to bother with Lord Indra. If we do our activities, prescribed activities, then he will have to provide anyway. Furthermore, demigods are reliant on karma. If we don't do our karma, they can't function. So therefore, let us forget Indra. Those who go to the demigods are less intelligent. Lord Krishna is preaching like this to his family members, particularly Nanda Maharaj. And so Srila Prabhupada mentions that Lord Krishna wanted to divert that worship from Indra to show and teach all of us two things. One, that only those who are less intelligent will go to the demigods. There is no need to worship them. So just like here in the assembly, there were people throwing names back and forth, but the Pandavas and Sahadev in particular, he spoke up and he said, no, only Krishna. Only Krishna. He is the right person. He is the source of everything. He is the cause of all causes. And so Lord Krishna wanted to show us through this pastime of diverting the Indra Puja that there is no need, because the demigods themselves are temporary, their fruits are temporary, right? And even the fruits that are given, mayava vihitan hitan. Lord Krishna says, the fruits I am the one giving. And so, after saying this, Nanda Maharaj, he told Lord Krishna, okay, you want to do another puja, another sacrifice, we'll do that. I'll make a separate arrangement. Because Lord Krishna said, no, let us worship Govardhan hill. If you're saying that because Indra is providing rainfall, for us, Govardhan is providing everything. He is providing water, he is providing the soft grasses for the cows, he is providing everything, so let us worship him. And Nanda Maharaj said, no, okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. Let us finish this one, and then I'll also arrange a separate puja and festival for Govardhan, as you're saying. Lord Krishna said, no, we can't wait that long. So let us just finish. You've already made all the arrangements. Let us just use everything for Govardhan and worship him. And in this way, then Nanda Maharaj, because of the persistence of Lord Krishna, he relented and he said, okay, fine. Let us worship Govardhan as you're saying. And so he asked Lord Krishna, tell us now, what is the vidhi? What is the process of worshipping Govardhan? So then Lord Krishna, he told them, you prepare lots of foodstuffs, all kinds of items, sweets, sour items, salty items, rice, dal, etc. Prepare it in huge quantities. Then call the brahmanas, let them come, chant their mantras, do the sacrifices, give them in charity, feed them, feed the cows. After the cows and brahmanas have been fed, feed everyone, feed even the dogs, even the 5th class people, the chandalas and them, feed everyone, and in this way we will perform Govardhan Puja. So the Vrajavasis did that, and Indra got angry because he was thinking, I am to be worshipped. And instead of worshipping me, they worshipping Govardhan. But Govardhan is not different from Krishna. During this festival, Lord Krishna told the Vrajavasis, he expanded himself into 2. So he was still there as a young child, and he told the Vrajavasis, see here, Govardhan has come himself to accept your offerings. And he took on the gigantic form of Govardhan and he was eating. And he was telling them, only this much, bring more. And the Vrajavasis were running around bringing everything. And he finished the entire preparation and even the stock that the Vrajavasis had in their storerooms. He finished everything. So Lord Krishna took that form. I am to be worshipped, how can you worship someone else before me? So Indra, he is saying the same thing that Shishupal is saying here. He told his associates in the heavenly planets that these Vrashabhasis, they have come under the words of a foolish boy, Balisham Stabdam. Like immature words of a young boy, they accepted. But what Indra failed to realize was, when Lord Krishna gives an argument, no one can defeat it. And so it doesn't matter if he's a small child or if he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he's saying something, everyone has to accept. Just like Sahadev here said, you all know this. He's telling the assembly, you all know this. Who is to be worshipped? Yeah. Why are you discussing so much? Now everyone should agree, finish this. Krishna is the only one. You all should accept. And so even the great sages and demigods that were present, they knew this and therefore they accepted. They said, yes, only Lord Krishna. We find that when it comes to giving worship, many people are misled. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says the three kinds of people in the three modes of material nature and who they worship. So those in the mode of ignorance, they worship ghosts and spirit. Those in the modes of passion, they worship men, which we find if a celebrity walks around, thousands of people behind. In the airport, if a celebrity comes, some sports star, some movie star, some music star, people go crazy. There are people I've seen also going to some dormitories of schools. They put these photos on the bed, on the ceiling. They wake up in the morning, they see the face of that celebrity. Yeah. And the whole time they're trying to emulate, wearing the same clothes, the same hairstyle. If the celebrity endorses a particular brand, they want to have that same brand. Worship. People in the mode of passion, they worship people. Right? And those in the mode of goodness, they worship demigods and the Lord. So we may think, yes, okay, nowadays also we find not many people also bother with the demigods. With thousands of temples in India, some of them don't even get visited by people. Only dust and crows. We find this more and more prevalence of passion and ignorance leads to an atmosphere of atheism. And so then people think the only worshipable person in my life is myself. And everyone's looking for that. How can I be worshipped? People want to become famous, they want to have followers, they want to be influencers. There's a few years back, 10 years back, there was no career like an influencer. Nobody knew what is an influencer. Now every single person, almost every single, of course, except the people in this room, hopefully, wants to be an influencer. Yeah, we have to have a page on social media. We have to give our message out, right? That adoration, that worship. And related to that, we find there's so many problems that come up. Psychologists and psychiatrists, they have a field day. Yeah. They get so many patients coming to them. Yeah. And what is the problem? I didn't get enough likes on my page. What's wrong with me? And they go to psychologists and psychiatrists to find out this. Yeah. Why people are not, engaging with my content. Yeah. It's all based on this, worship. But the devotees who are well versed with Krishna Tattva, they know if we worship Krishna, everyone is worshipped. And if Krishna is pleased, everyone is pleased. Yasmin tushte jagat tushte. And so we are here, we're trying to tell everyone, please, worship Lord Krishna. And then you will find that you're also satisfied. Instead, if you try to look for worship separate from Lord Krishna, then there'll only be dissatisfaction and frustration. Great people, great influencers, thousands, millions of followers and likes. They do something and overnight people unsubscribe. And so someone may be 10 million followers strong one particular day and overnight gets 10 people following him. Because he said something or did something that people did not like. And then it becomes a great source of distress. Because ego is hurt, and ego is only fueled by worship. So in this material world, we are here because of the ego, false ego. I am the Lord. Srila Prabhupada writes in the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita that our conditional existence is based on these two concepts. I am the Lord of all that I survey, and everything here is for my enjoyment. And so as long as we are fueling this, it becomes a source of frustration. And continuation of our material existence is based on this. We find everyone out there. They just want this. People, I am the Lord. If I want people, they should worship me. Fuel my ego. But Pandavas knew who is to be worshipped. Yeah. We'll find that further on here that the son of Damagosh, he will say, Shishupal, he will say further on that so many people are seated here, great personalities, and you chose, of all of them, you chose Krishna. You worship Krishna, who doesn't even have a varna, who doesn't have an ashram, whose parents are also unclear, whose son he is. You chose someone with no qualification, according to Shishupal. He had no qualification. But the devotees knew, no, we worship Krishna. And so in this day and age, Lord Krishna came 500 years ago to give the most simplest process of worship. Krishna varnam trisa Krishna sangopangashtra parshadam yagye sankirtana prayay yajantihi sumedasa. Devotees are sumedasa. They are most intelligent. And those who are most intelligent, they worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How? By performing yagya. Which yagya? Sankirtan yagya. Through the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the method of worship for this age. And that's why we all try that whoever we meet, whoever we see, to tell them how to worship Lord Krishna. See here, Rajasuya sacrifice, we're hearing how much effort was taken to perform that Rajasuya sacrifice. Everything was of gold. So much gold was needed. In a separate one, the Pandavas were like, how do we perform this Rajasuya? We don't have any gold. So Lord Krishna told Arjuna, you go to the Himalayas. There, you will find that the Brahmanas who had been given charity in gold, they've thrown all that gold there. So you pick it all up, bring it here. That's why Arjuna's other name is Dhananjaya, winner of or conqueror of wealth. Yeah. So much gold was needed. Nowadays, to see gold is also, a challenge. Yeah. Everyone, now even to see paper currency is a challenge. Everywhere there is Paytm, and phone pay and all these things, to see even physical currency in a few years will become a great challenge, right? So we find people, then they just want to go into digital. Now the money is digital. So much effort is needed. But to worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no wealth needed. Don't need gold, don't need cryptocurrency, don't need nothing. Right? Simply chant. and the worship is there, right? So we find that we have been given the easiest process to worship the Supreme Lord. No elaborate arrangement is needed. Simply through chanting, we can worship the Supreme Lord, who is the right person to be worshipped. And therefore here when Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that if we worship those who are not to be worshipped in place of the ones who are supposed to be worshipped, there is offense. So anyone who's not worshipping Lord Krishna, they're already committing an offense. But we have to stop them from committing offenses by propagating the holy name of the Lord and teaching everyone, just use this simple process of worshipping the Lord through chanting the holy names. So we'll read further on, Shishupal, actually Shishupal was born defective. He was born with 3 eyes and 4 arms, and when his mother saw him, he's like, what abomination is this? She wanted to throw him right there, and they were ready to also just like throw him away. But then there was a Akashvani, a disembodied voice, said, no, don't throw this child. This extra eye and the extra 2 hands will disappear when the child goes to the person who is supposed to kill him. So the parents were like, okay, Akashvani, what can we do? They held on to him for a few days. And because Shishupal is the cousin of Lord Krishna, the mother of Shishupal was related to Nanda Maharaj. So Lord Krishna came to visit and he took Shishupal on his lap. And when he did that, the 3rd eye and the 2 arms disappeared. So the mother knew, okay, Krishna is going to kill this child. And so she requested Lord Krishna, please excuse 100 of his offenses. And Lord Krishna said, okay. So we were hearing Devamrita Maharaj, someone had asked that when Shishupal started speaking, why didn't just people just cut him right there, chop him off right there and then? Actually it's mentioned in the Mahabharata, Shishupal then attacked Bhishma as well, as he was attacking Krishna. He attacked Bhishma as well. He said, you are also a coward, you never got married, you didn't have the guts. Many times brahmacharis also get that, Like, oh, you became brahmachari because, out there was too tough, right? Therefore you just took the easy path, So he also said something like that to Bhishma. And Bhishma really got angry. He was about to chop off Shishupal's head. Lord Krishna stopped them. Right? So there were many people who were ready. But Lord Krishna was pacifying, saying, no, don't, wait. So when he spoke like this to Bhishma, that was his 100th offense. And as soon as he spoke like this, the next, before even he could speak, his head was on the floor. Lord Krishna released the Sudarshan Chakra. So we'll read that further, that Shishupal, he's telling everyone, he's getting angry at everyone, telling them, how could you have elected or even heard Sahadev's word, who's just a boy, he was the youngest of the Pandavas, he's just a boy. You fell into his words, you selected the wrong person. So all that exciting stuff is coming up. Hare Krishna. If there are any questions or comments or... Yes, Prabhu, please, I'll try. Mic here, please.
So, Hare Krishna, thank you for a nice class. We worship an initiating spiritual master, but sometimes we find someone's doing that service of initiating spiritual master is found to be breaking the regulative principles, even not disclosing that they're doing that. And the innocent disciples who are worshiping, doing that worship, are they committing an offense? And what is the solution for this problem?
Wow, okay. Yes, so if the initiating spiritual master is not up to task, right? The people who have taken shelter under that spiritual master, they're not at fault. Because the parampara is the one that delivers. It's not the strength of a particular person that is delivering the disciples. The entire parampara is delivering. The spiritual master especially an initiating spiritual master, is supposed to be a transparent via medium. It means he's simply passing on the mercy of the parampara onwards. Yeah. So, as much as, or to the point that the initiating spiritual master is doing that, then that is correct, right? And by his own particular sadhana, he's supposed to also adhere and follow that process, right? So those who have taken shelter, they're taking shelter of the entire parampara, not a particular person. In good faith, as long as they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, then they're not at fault. Right? But if they're also breaking the principles and the spiritual master is also breaking the principles and onwards, then it just becomes a whole mess. Right? But therefore, we find that in ISKCON, there is the Guru committee, there is the Sannyasi committee that are supposed to be regularly taking updates from all these devotees who are doing these kind of services and identify if there are loopholes somewhere, rectify them and guide the disciples who are under such a person to take shelter elsewhere within the movement. So therefore we find that ISKCON has a course called ISKCON Disciples Course, and there they explain that Guru Padashraya has three aspects. There is the Diksha Guru that they take shelter and instruction from. There is the Shiksha Guru, and then there is the preeminent Shiksha Guru Srila Prabhupada. So a disciple can receive Guru Padashraya, he can receive the shelter of the Guru based on a combination of these three, or an emphasis on one over the other two. As long as it's within those three, then for the disciple, he is protected. Right? So if it's found that the initiating spiritual master has had some issues, then the other two are always there. Srila Prabhupada, as the preeminent Shiksha Guru, gives shelter to everyone within ISKCON, and then there are the Shiksha Gurus as well, who can then take on the role of a Diksha Guru if the previous Diksha Guru had an issue. Those are my 2 cents. Maybe Maharaj,
thank you very much.
Maharaj is more expert at this than I am, so he can add something.
Perfect.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you told the Govardhan Leela and you told one can take 2 lessons from Govardhan Leela. So the less intelligent person only go to the demigod specific. Some joking mood I am asking you. So before taking part, Lord Krishna taking part in that Leela, so all the Brajvasis are the less intelligent, one can say, after listening this?
No, so yes, Lord teaches the rest of us through his pastimes. So we cannot say Arjuna didn't know what was taught to him in the Bhagavad Gita. He was pure devotee, he was surrendered. He didn't need to go through the whole thing and then at the end say Karishe Vachanam Tava. He was already doing what Krishna had told him to do. But for the sake of giving us the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna put him into a position by which teaching Arjuna, he is teaching us. Similarly, by teaching the Vrajavasis, he is teaching us. Vrajavasis, they only knew Krishna. Even before the Govardhan Puja, even after the Govardhan Puja. So many pastimes. Right? When there was a forest fire, they all knew. They never ran to Agni Dev, please withdraw this fire, why are you doing this? No, they only knew Krishna. Yeah. But this pastime of Govardhan Leela, Krishna wanted, one, to also break the pride of Indra, and two, to show us that we don't need to worship demigods. Krishna is sufficient. Yeah. So he teaches, just like the mother-in-law teaches the daughter-in-law by teaching the daughter. So Srila Prabhupada explains this. So I think Srila Kirti Prabhu also he mentions this. So right, she'll scold the daughter when she has not done anything. But the daughter-in-law is hearing. So the daughter-in-law understands this is for me, but it's not told directly to her. So the Vrajavasis, they are enacting these pastimes with Lord Krishna to teach us. They have no fault.
And Puji, one more point. Just like you told, just like if the Guru have any fault, so we can, continue our sadhana with our Shiksha Guru and with Srila Prabhupada because he's our actual Guru. Okay. So if anyone, just like ISKCON also, just anyone, spiritual master, just fold out. So if, so Prabhupada our Guru like, so what is that difference is the Ritvikvad and ISKCON then?
No.
If anyone say like that, then how we can say that? Yeah.
You've not taken initiation from Srila Prabhupada.
Yes.
You're taking Shiksha from Srila Prabhupada. I said preeminent Shiksha Guru of everyone in ISKCON is Srila Prabhupada. We're reading his books, we're reading his purpose, we're listening to his lectures. Everything that we have is from Srila Prabhupada. I have not talked about Diksha at all. Ritvik means they're saying that Diksha has been given by Srila Prabhupada. Right? So there's a difference. As Shiksha Guru, whether even if we have a Diksha Guru currently, our preeminent Shiksha Guru is still Srila Prabhupada. Even though we are having our own Diksha Gurus and other Shiksha Gurus, but preeminent for everyone in ISKCON is Srila Prabhupada. So that is in line, that's not Ritvik. Ritvik means you're taking Diksha through an agent. You're taking Diksha from Srila Prabhupada through an agent, which is a bit different. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
The day doesn't go right unless I ask a question. So only by devotional service can we understand Krishna. He always says, but not by austerities or by study of the Vedas or by sacrifices, by charity, this or that. And we see that chanting Krishna's holy name and hearing about Krishna is also devotional service. Is that enough, or do we actually have to get out and do like Sankirtan or fight in the battle of Kurukshetra or do some dishes or worship the deity? What active devotional service needs to be actually performed that'll please Krishna? Because ultimately Krishna has told Arjuna, now you understand, so do your duty. So besides the chanting and hearing, we have other duties?
Yes, beside the chanting and hearing, we do have other duties as is given to us by our authorities and spiritual master.
Thank you.
They give us, they tell us, they engage us. So according to their engagement, we work. That is also devotional service.
You can elaborate more. You can further elaboration. Go ahead.
So devotional service is not limited, right? It's a very dynamic process. And we find that like in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord told Arjuna, Mam anusmara yudhyacha. By thinking of me, you engage in warfare. So was Arjuna engaged in warfare or was he doing devotional service? Because he was doing what Krishna told him to do. And what Krishna tells us to do, that's devotional service. So it may look like he was engaging in warfare, but actually he was performing devotional service. Mahamanusmara yudhyacha. So we have a tendency to think, okay, chanting and hearing is devotional service and everything else maybe, maybe not. But actually everything else falls under the umbrella of devotional service. In Srila Prabhupada, I think it was in Mumbai, there was some construction going on, right? And he was trying to translate his books in the middle of the day. And then some devotee went and told the construction people, hey, stop it. Or maybe it was Mayapur, somewhere. Stop it, you're creating a disturbance. So they stopped, and then Srila Prabhupada called the disciple and said, hey, why have they stopped? Oh no, you are engaging in translating, it's disturbing. That is also kirtan, let it go on. The building of the temple is also kirtan, let it go on. So dynamic process, it's not limited, it's very open, very broad. Anything done for the pleasure of Krishna is devotional service. So
sometimes one might feel, I'm not really qualified to do any service, I'm just not qualified.
Everyone's qualified to chant.
Yeah, but that's all I'll do, just chant. Chant I can do, but nothing else.
If they can chant nicely, then the qualification will come later. Yeah.
We'll let them slide then.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।